हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक टू कंकाशन सब सीरीज। काफी दिन हो गए संजय दुबे और मैं लेट नाइट बैठकर एक पॉडकास्ट करने के लिए। बट व्हाट बेटर रीजन देन टू प्रीव्यू द आईसीसी मेंस टी20 वर्ल्ड कप सुपर 8। संजय, पहले ये बताइए आप कैसे हो, क्या हाल चाल है, किधर थे इतने दिन, क्या चल रहा है लाइफ में?
आईपीएल के बाद तो इतना क्रिकेट हो गया कि वर्ल्ड कप एटलीस्ट इनिशियल फेज तो थोड़ा ओवरडोज टाइप ही था एंड द मैच टाइमिंग्स वर ऑड एटसेट्रा प्लस इतना लो स्कोरिंग गेम्स है अपार्ट फ्रॉम इंडिया गेम्स हैव नॉट बीन closely watching all the games. But it's better than having a temporary stadium in New York. You watched all the games there. पिच तो ऐसा इतना थोड़ा पैसा खर्चा उन लोग पिच में भी किया होता तो और मजा आता लोगों को. I don't know. It was all the expat population. एक इंडिया ए टाइप टीम ही है यूएसए का which they did really well, so congratulations. India USA both have qualified, but how was your experience of watching the games in the New York stadium?
बहुत मजा आया, बहुत मजा आया। नेवर थॉट दैट देयर विल बी क्रिकेट हैपनिंग इन अमेरिका। मैं जब इंडिया से बाहर निकला था, आई ऑलवेज वांट टू बी इन सम नेशन व्हिच इज क्लोज बाय क्रिकेट, बट यूएसए पहुंच गया अपन। यूएसए में तो देयर इज एनबीए, एनएफएल, एनएचएल, दैट्स ऑल बिग डील। बट cricket in America was a dream. I think जब एक साल पहले या 1.5 साल पहले जब अनाउंस हुआ था 9 जून को इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान न्यूयॉर्क में होगा, I thought it's like a far-fetched dream. We will see what happens, but they pulled it off. ICC executed it. The ground was what, 30 plus $million, and December last year को बनाया गया था, शुरू किया गया था काम। uh, Trivia for you. Originally, cricket ground, Bronx, Manhattan में they were supposed to put,
The
but the
baseball
park,
one.
yeah, the park authorities did not approve for so much land to be taken off of Manhattan. So then they had to look for Plan B, and you will be surprised that the ground is in New York State. It's not in New York City.
Yeah,
Everybody used to confuse themselves, New York,
yeah.
New York. So this is actually in Nassau County in a city called Long Island, which is a part of New York State, which is about an hour drive from New York City. It's a good neighborhood, but yeah, I mean it's an engineering marvel. Engineering marvel. They did a phenomenal job in 6 months standing up 34,000 people. The first match I had gone was India Bangladesh, which was a warm up game. Again, no surprises. India Bangladeshis, they were like about 30% of the population, almost doing the ground. Ground में shelter काफी कम है. So shaded areas are only on the straight sides of it. Both of them are hospitality, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed. I went for India Bangladesh, which is warm up. South Africa Sri Lanka, which was the opening game. India Ireland, India USA, and then the humdinger on June 9th, India versus Pakistan.
No, absolutely. I think credit. अभी pitch थोड़ा सा off था थोड़ा, but matches काफी close थे. Low scoring after IPL जहाँ 260, 280 तो ऐसे time pass के लिए बन रहा था. So six is an event, lots of wickets. But हाँ अभी तो Super Hits decide हो गया. I'm really glad that USA has made it. Unfortunately, Pakistan couldn't. Thoroughly deserved USA the way they've competed against Canada. Yes, you'll probably miss Pakistan in the Super 8s, but then USA, you cannot complain. They played really well. No one expected them. Maybe people thought that Ireland might go through, but USA जो पूरा जोक चल रहा था कि आधार ग्रीन कार्ड वाले लोग वर्सेस आधार कार्ड वाले लोग सब अपने लोग ही पहुंच गए. The talk of the town was Saurabh Netrawalkar, who worked in Oracle, etc., etc. It's a fabulous story. Played for India in the under 19. So I think it should be really interesting and really good experience for the guys playing in Super 8s.
बिल्कुल। एंड आपने किधर देखा, इंडिया पाकिस्तान कहीं फैन पार्क में देखा आपने?
So India Pakistan in London Canary Wharf they have these big screens. तो हम लोग सब गए थे वहाँ. इंडिया का जर्सी इसी पहना था. Had decent amount of Pakistani crowd as well. तो half time तक तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि हो गया अभी जल्दी निकल जाना पड़ेगा. It was a terrible day. One is it was वहाँ भी बारिश on and off चल रहा था. Plus it was very cold unlike the summer which we expect in the UK. But मजा end में Pakistani fans had all left basically and India was celebrating. There's I think good 400-500 people in that area. So it was good fun. We all went.
बढ़िया है.
That's
And in the
really
meanwhile, Harris Rao फोर्ट लॉडरडेल में पब्लिक को थप्पड़ मारते हुए घूम रहा है रोड पे.
बच गया पंच भी कर देता मेरे को लगता है. I mean, it's sad that the fans have कोई भी तरह का fans. I mean, you don't have to say stuff, especially when they're not on the field. I mean,
Yeah.
on the field jo ho gaya. He's trying. I mean, to be honest, 3 balls 12 runs against USA. You would think that a quality bowler like him would defend it, but you have to give credit to USA as well. And then saying things personally when people are on the field. I mean, they've got their personal life, so I think it's completely uncalled for. So at least he's going back home now, so probably get more abuses back home. But hey ho, I think it can easily be avoided.
Most of Pakistan players are coming your way. They're going to be in London for a month, from what I've been told, to take a break before going to the home country, so that it's for safety purposes. They're calling it a vacation. So you might find them on the streets.
Yeah, but plus to be honest, it doesn't. It's not that bad in a sense that okay, they played the finals of the 2020 World Cup in Australia. With a bit of luck, they would have probably qualified. The game between Ireland and USA being called off due to rain. So पिछली बार Netherlands ने उनको help किया था. So they have ridden their luck in the past. It's unfortunate. I think the tournament is probably poorer without Pakistan, but it's fabulous opportunity for USA.
Absolutely. So let's shift our focus to the Super 8s. So, what is Super 8s and how are they placed? So, firstly, there are two groups in Super 8s. There were 20 teams, if you remember, in the World Cup start. So, they all played in two groups, round robin games, and whoever are the top three teams or top two teams out of four groups became Super 8s. So, Super 8s are split into two. Then, Group 1 is India, Bangladesh, of Afghanistan, and Australia. And then Group 2 is USA, England, West Indies, and South Africa. So each group will play against each other once, and then top two teams will go to semifinals. Whoever are the winners for semifinals are the finals. So it's an interesting lineup. Group 1 or Group A is India, Australia, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. Were the top four in that group?
Afghanistan definitely. You cannot any longer call any team getting beaten by Afghanistan as an upset. They are worthy contender, and I remember you mentioning in 2020 that they would win the World Cup. I think they have a very good chance of progressing to the semi-finals, considering the form they've shown so far. Bangladesh also played well. They should have beaten South Africa, but they've beaten Sri Lanka. Two good wins definitely helps you progress from the initial stages to this one. But now they'll find it a bit tough. India clean sweep all the games they've won. Australia did the same thing, beating England. So India, Australia, you would think that with the experience are likely contenders to progress. But one challenge I can see from an Indian perspective is they've played all their games in New York, where scoring 100, has been difficult. Now in Super 8s, they'll be playing Afghanistan on Thursday, Bangladesh on Saturday, and Australia on Monday on three different stadiums, three different countries, if I'm not wrong. So I think 3 games in 5 days, that might be a bit challenging. But Australia look the favorites to progress from this group, but I won't be surprised if there is uh, an upset uh, from either Bangladesh or Afghanistan. But 2 wins out of 3 with a decent run rate should help you progress. You're on mute.
Uh, let's talk about the pitch. बात करते हैं. So this is called World Cup. Now, do you think, granted, the New York pitch should have been better for the T20 format, but the counter argument is, if the players are good enough, they shouldn't be playing on roads like how we had in IPL 24 or PSL. They should be able to adapt. So, what's your view on that?
Yeah, I think it went a bit too far from a bowling perspective. So I think the quality which say Bumrah would have got nullified with a similar effect would have been given by say a 120, 130 bowler. Uh, the first game India played, I thought the pitch was dangerous almost. the India Pakistan pitch was fine. I think players are just not used to playing swing or spin. Plus, the games have, at least what the India games have been, all day games, which means that it's much more better for the bowlers. There's chance of some reverse swing. There's no dew. The spinners have a bit more say. The ground was huge. That New York ground was 70, 72. So if you remember the shot which Rohit Sharma got out in against Pakistan, that would have been a six on most grounds.
Yeah,
That's another. So 110 was more like 130, 140. But I think 150, 160 is what would have been ideal. But you can't complain. The games have been closer. You have Pakistan USA game very close. Canada USA was very very good game. All the games South Africa played have been close, but I think it was a bit too much on the bowling side. If you want to promote a game in a new country, then maybe having a bit more of fours and sixes would also help. But nevertheless, I think from a TV audience perspective, it wasn't that bad at all. I think you will hopefully get to see much more quality come through in the next round and more close games, hopefully.
absolutely. Yeah, so that's on the pitch. So on Group Two, then we have USA, England, West Indies, South Africa. West Indies looking hot favorites. So, what do you think of South Africa, England, and USA? England barely made it, barely, thanks to Australia. So, what's the sentiment in London about England's chances this World Cup? They were the runners up. They were defending champions.
Yeah, they are the defending champions. They had very good luck on their side. The game did not get washed away against Ireland, wasn't it? Or was it? I'm forgetting which team it was. But oh yeah, against Oman or Namibia, basically. So if that had washed out, then obviously Scotland would have progressed. Scotland actually played really well. Scotland would be disappointed with the game they played against England because they had a good chance of winning that. Even against Australia, I thought they had a upper hand pretty much for the 34 overs or whatever. And then Stoinis came and started hitting. So Scotland, from batting perspective, they looked the better of all the other associate nations. Bowling, all the associate nations, pretty much because of the pitch, have done fairly well. So Scotland would be disappointed. England would consider themselves slightly lucky, but they are the defending champions, and all the teams would fear England. They've played a lot of cricket in the Caribbean islands, so they'll have decent support along with West Indies. I think they are the only team which will have a lot of traveling fans. In terms of sentiment in England, unfortunately, it's coinciding with Euros. England have just won their first game against Serbia, so as that progresses, it'll completely overshadow whatever happens in the Caribbean islands. But the cricket public, the people who watch the game quite closely, they're quite pleased with the progression, and it'll be interesting to see whether they can make it to the next round.
Absolutely. And I think USA, well deserved. I think they put up a good show. They are in Super 8. Hopefully they capitalize on the initiatives. How disappointing is it to see somebody like New Zealand not making it to the Super 8s?
Um, it is disappointing from an Indian perspective. It's not that bad. I'd much rather take Afghanistan, but they might also beat us. But yeah, New Zealand has been a difficult team, but it's almost the beginning of the end of a golden era in their cricket. It's unfortunate that they've not managed to win any ICC tournament. 2019 was the closest they came. They also had a chance in the 2021 T20 final when they played against Australia. So those are the two occasions. The likes of Williamson, Saudi, Bolt, uh, lots of good players, and unfortunately, it's coming to an end. Hopefully, they can have some young players. I think what did not help is a lot of their players were on the bench when playing in the IPL. They did not take a break, unlike the Australians. They went back home straight after IPL. They did not have any warm up games, and you cannot just turn up in a difficult group when they had to play Bangladesh up front, and try and Afghanistan up front rather, and try and progress. And Afghanistan was so good on that game against New Zealand, not just beating them but absolutely thumping them. Afghanistan looked really really good in that group, so they thoroughly deserved. And unfortunately, New Zealand didn't turn up, and you can't blame them. It's only one tournament. You have IC tournament every year. So hopefully they can rebuild and come back in 7 months' time in Champions Trophy wherever it is.
Absolutely. Champions Trophy will be in Pakistan, at least for now.
Oh, well, I don't think it'll happen in Pakistan for sure, unless they decide to have a split version like they had the Asia Cup. There's no chance India's traveling to Pakistan to play, but it'll be sad from say likes of Rohit, Virat. They've never played in Pakistan. The previous generation did get a chance, so everything aside, it'll be sad, but it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Virat never played a test match versus Pakistan, or did he?
Yeah, he's not played Test match versus Pakistan. Rohit
Wow.
hasn't played. Yeah, so imagine a golden era of players did not get to play each other. So I mean, the only way it can happen is the WTC finals. But considering how little cricket Pakistan playing and how they've been performing, it'll be a struggle. But I think that'll be a. I think you would want to see them play. The only one other thing I wanted to talk about was Nepal. Sorry, we didn't touch upon Nepal. I looked at some of the pictures from Kathmandu when they were playing that game against South Africa. It's so late there, but you had a lot of people right in the middle of the road, and they look a team which can progress. So hopefully India can maybe go to Nepal and play some games, help them build it through because unfortunately our other neighbors are not doing that well in Sri Lanka and Pakistan. So any team we can push up the curve in Asia would be great for cricket.
For sure. Yeah, Nepalese had golden chance of winning versus Bangladesh, which they tanked, unfortunately. Um, and also, it will be unfair not to talk about. I think it is a once in a lifetime bowling performance by Lockie Ferguson.
Yeah,
Four
yeah.
overs, four maidens, three wickets. Who does that? Forget about who is he playing against, but 4 overs, four maidens, three wickets is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, Bangladesh is. There's been so many good bowling performances. Tanzir Ahmed, I think he got 4 wickets for 7 runs or something, bowling up front. But yeah, I mean, quality bowling from Lockie Ferguson. Unfortunately, he came a bit too late in a dead rubber. If he had a similar performance maybe against Afghanistan, it could have helped. But it is sad to see New Zealand go out. But yeah, fabulous performance nonetheless. There's lots and lots of records being made from bowling perspective. It's like the batting of IPL for bowling.
Cool. Cool. So, who are your picks who will make it to semi-finals? Of course, India. Who are the other three?
Um, so in the other group, I would say South Africa. South Africa just because they've scraped through. They've not played well in any of the games. They could have easily lost all 3 games and would have been kicked out. But the fact that they've come through, I would want to see them on better pitches and see whether they can deliver. So I would tip West Indies and South Africa to make it from the other group. India, I think, should progress. Although I think India has got 2 very slippery games coming up in Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Uh, with all the batting we've had in 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 New York, I think the players would be probably out of touch. They had a washed out game as well, so they've not played for a while. Coming against a day game against Afghanistan, good bowling attack. If you're 2 or 3 down, then I think slightly get worried. But hopefully we can beat Afghanistan and Bangladesh, and that'll be it. We should easily progress to the next round. Whether Australia, I think, are the team to beat this tournament. I think they are so good on pretty much all
So,
accounts.
India, Australia, South Africa,
And West Indies.
West Indies. And who would be the finalist and who would be the winner?
Okay, I think it'll be Australia South Africa final.
Australia, South Africa final. Windies are not going to be in final.
No,
Oh,
I think South
wow.
Africa will win this time,
So, Australia, South Africa final. So,
and
will
South Africa winning.
South Africa winning the first ICC trophy ever. That's great.
A World Cup, yeah. I mean, they won the '98 champion, what the erstwhile champions trophy. So
Some
we'll
bold predictions by Sanjay Dubey. So for sure, this will
it's all.
attract some
I mean,
comments.
I'd go. Okay, maybe Afghanistan will progress and India won't progress. Let me put it that way. I think India has got few challenges with their opening combination and players not being in form, but that's partly because of how the pitches have been. But I think the biggest plus we've had is Rishabh Pant. Whoever's made that call for him to play at number three, I think he looks to be in super form. I think if India has to progress through, I think he'll be a key player, and with a bit of help from our lower middle order, I think we'll do well.
He's been in fantastic form, and I've seen his last shot when versus Ireland, that reverse scoop. That was a straight view. I was sitting straight, and I was on the, what is it, fine leg for him, and then the
Yeah,
ball was on right side. It was awesome. Yeah, he's in fantastic form. He looks super fit. I've seen during Pakistan too, he caught a couple of good catches, of one for Hardik, one for Bumrah. So yeah, it was a master move. Whoever's sending Akshar Patel number four has to also think if that is the right decision, because I have no idea why they were thinking Akshar is good at four with Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah kind of quality.
he played well though. He got 20 runs, which in the end proved a lot of runs. Although he got some edges
Yeah.
here and there, he got a nice little six. I mean, I worry for Dubey probably against quality bowling attack. So him getting runs in the penultimate game, I think that is good. It'll help him in the tournament. Do you think Kuldeep or Samson will get any chance, or we'll just continue to play with the same combination unless we lose badly?
Uh, unless Rishabh Pant falls sick or injured, Samson is ruled out for this. Kuldeep or Chahal depends on pitches. I think Guyana, if I'm not wrong, is a sprint-friendly pitch. West Indies spinner, the lefty, I forget his name,
Akil Hussain.
Akhil Hussain. He had a gala time in Guyana. So I would think that Guyana is when Indians might unleash spinners. But up until then,
Yeah,
changing
I
in
don't think
batting
we're
order
playing.
unless there are injuries.
Yeah, we're playing in Antigua, which is probably the most spin-friendly pitch of all. Then we are playing in Barbados against Afghanistan, and the best pitch we are playing is in Saint Lucia against Australia. That's been the best batting pitch. Even in CPL, I think you get more runs in Saint Lucia. So both Bangladesh and Afghanistan will fancy their chances, but I think India will be too strong to against them. So we'll see.
Excellent. Excellent. We are glad that we got you viewers the Super 8 preview. We'll try and do some reviews as well during the Super 8 games. Maybe weekend games we should bring back, but semifinals and finals will make all effort to bring you guys the coverage. For folks who have tuned in, thank you so much, Sanjay Dubey. It's been a while, but always pleasure talking to you. We will
Same.
see you on the other side of the episode.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.